All right, let's see. Check. Okay, we're good. I'm going to turn this back up a little bit. Check 1, 2. Um, David, here it is. I promised you I would play. You wanted me to play the Dano for a while. It's funny because I picked it up and it was open G tuning. I've been using it for slide mostly, and the strings are really old. Strings are old and squeaky. So I probably won't play it very much. But so Dan Electros were made, I think, in the 60s originally. This is actually, the model is a U2. Oh, you can't hear it? Yeah, a lot of people hear. Yeah, I should have posted. I don't know if my live chat showed up before I started the stream, but I loaded and did the photo and everything about 15 minutes ago. So it showed up that I was getting ready to go on. Yeah, I could see where this would be a very good guitar for surf. So these are called lipstick pickups because they look like lipstick cases, and they're single coil, so they're pretty noisy. Like if I turn off, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but if I turn it up, but I got to be careful because of the microphone. But if I turn off the noise gate on this, it buzzes pretty bad. And because I'm working on, TV, if I was doing a gig, but a little bit of buzz isn't necessarily a bad thing. But for sessions and TV and stuff, like you don't want to add noise to tracks, because if there's a little bit of noise on this track and a little bit of noise on this track and this track and this track, it's all cumulative. So you get too much noise. So you really want to back off the noise. But oh, weird, yeah. The other thing is it's a little quieter if you put it on the middle position, have both pickups on, kind of a little bit of a noise cancellation. So you've got volume knobs and tone knobs. It's kind of a cute little top hat look, and it's plastic. So even the reissue ones of these, the Danos, just call them Danos because it's Dan Electro. They're not expensive. They're not horribly expensive. Plastic. It's not a tone of wood. The guitar itself doesn't have much of a tone. Now, one of the things is the bridge is it's fixed, so you can't adjust it really. I suppose if you got in there and filed the wood or whatever, you can adjust the height, but you can't adjust the intonation. So, I mean, that's why it's kind of good for slide, because at least with slide, if the intonation's off, you can. Also, I have a compressor on, which makes it a little bit noisier too. But that's the Dan Electro. Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay, big difference. A little more light now. Sorry, I forgot to turn on my this one here. There we go. That should be better. And I'll turn off the light behind me. I'm going to change back though, David, to my my G&L. I've had to seriously. It's a bummer because had to seriously close up my studio window because I have a new neighbor that has a dog, and they just leave the dog out all day long. If you have a 12 string, but if you tune it to open D, would it be D D A A D D F sharp A A D D? Yes, that's right. That's what you would do. And it sounds amazing. 12 string and open D sounds freaking amazing with slide. I don't know if you're familiar with Leo Kottke, but he's like one of the best 12 string players ever. And no one's really ever. I think it's but something like that. That's not quite right. It doesn't look right. Let me look him up real quick. Leo. Oh, it's two T's. Leo Kottke, like that. And he does amazing stuff. Yeah, so like normally when I'm doing electric stuff, I'm direct and it doesn't matter. There can be noise. When we first bought the house last year, we've been in this house almost a year after living in an apartment for 32 years. And when you live in an apartment, you've got noise all around you, and it was very frustrating. It was so amazing to be here and be able to work, any hour of the day and have it just be dead silent. And so we've been here a year, and now we got a new neighbor, and they've got a dog that they just never let in the house. And the dog is yelping like, "Help me, help me, let me in the house." I'm like, "Geez, people." I mean, I'm not mad at the dog. I'm mad at the people that don't seem to care about why do they have a dog if they're not going to, I'm ranting right now as I load a guitar sound for us here for me to do our lesson. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and load this one again. And then we've got, so we've done, I know the dogs, it does that high yelp. If it did his low bark, it's not so bad, but I was trying to record, I was working on something this morning, and some ad music and for a company, and I was doing some acoustic, and it was kind of finger picking because they wanted something because of what we're going through right now. The music they wanted was kind of like uplift. They wanted uplifting, so I started with acoustic, and then fingered acoustic, and then strummed acoustic, and bring in electrics and bass and drums and all that stuff. So it'll end up being a big dramatic kind of sentimental thing, but when I was doing the finger picking this morning, at one point, I kind of finished up some tender thing at the end of the song and let it ring out, and then his dog starts yelping, and I'm like, ugh. So I have to do that again. I can punch in, so I don't have to do the whole thing again. But he just is. It's just like I said, it's like I don't know. It's frustrating because like if I had a dog and it was barking at my door, I would let him in, right? Doesn't that make sense? It's like I don't understand that. So what? Okay, so let me get with the lesson, and I'll answer some questions. Gary, remember that question for later. Let me pull up a tone here. Okay, so again, in review, we've been talking about the CAGED method. One thing I think I'm going to do too, I maybe after we finish the D shape, so we're going to hit the E shape today. After we finish the next shape, so after tomorrow, I'm probably going to do a little more basic of a lesson. I want to come back to the CAGED thing, depending on how long we're in quarantine. But I want to come back to the CAGED thing, but I want to do some lessons on capoing and having you guys. I want you all to memorize. This is a great opportunity to memorize all the chords in each position when you capo, so that you're not thinking what it looks like. You're actually thinking, oh, that's a B flat chord, not a G chord. Okay. I think that's a byproduct of learning the CAGED method, but it can also support the CAGED method. So when I'm seeing this as a B flat chord rather than a G chord, you're also seeing it as the G shape, but you're learning the actual chord names of where you are, not just what they look like. And that's important. To me, that's really important. So just a reminder, the CAGED method, the C chord, C is the first chord, A is the second chord, and then the next chord in the chain link fence, or the link of chain, the chains, you know what I mean, links in a chain, it would be the G shape, and then the E shape, and then D shape, thus spelling CAGED. So those are our shapes. We've done C, we've done A. Yesterday we did the G shape. Okay. Now I'm just going to quickly review the scales that we learned. Okay. And oh, where's my piece of paper? Oh, here it is. I didn't pre-write it out like I did yesterday. There's the pentatonic shape over the C shape. Then the pentatonic shape over the A shape was this one. And I'm going to hold the piece of paper up again so you can screenshot it, but I'm going to write the new one on there. And then the next shape was G shape, CAGED. And that was the pentatonic that most people learned first. Yeah, we never let our kids scream. Like in the grocery store, oh no. Now, our kids are grown, but every store, restaurant we went to, we knew where the bathroom was. If we had to spank for disobedience, and it was the only reason we ever spanked was for like willfully disobeying, a command. We didn't spank them for saying something stupid or whatever. It was only for disobedience. But yeah, our kids would never. They would just look at kids rolling around in the aisles like, "What's wrong with that kid?" Okay, so now we're at the E shape. Okay, so here's the E shape that we all know and love. Okay, and if you play it with these three fingers, okay, if you play it with these three fingers, it frees up your first finger to be the bar, the capo, the nut, whatever you want to think of it. And we just work our way up. Here's E. Here's F. You want to memorize these. You want to memorize the notes on the bottom string to start. G is the 3rd fret. A is at the 5th fret. B is at the 7th fret. Remember, we're in the key of D, so we're going to go to D. Here's C at the 8th fret, and then at the 10th fret you have D. Okay, you notice I changed my shirt. I almost sat down with the exact same the Butler shirt for the 5th day in a row or something. Yeah, no, I don't hit for distance. No. Yeah, you didn't have to hit kids hard for them to like cry because they're just like so ashamed that they have to be punished. And it's like, I think my kid, the oldest kid I had to spank would have been 4 or 5. I don't think I ever spanked a kid over 5. One of my kids, I'm saying. Okay, so we're here at the 10th fret. Okay, so here's the chord, and I'm going to have to put spaces in between each one of these. But these are fret numbers. So that's a D major chord. All right. It looks just like an E chord. And if we go 2 more frets, we get to the E chord. So now full octave. Again, I say this every time, but it's really, really important to realize if you learn a bar chord, you're learning 12 chords. It's great. It's a great way that you can maximize your knowledge and multiply your knowledge. And I love those kind of things. That for me is gold. I just saw, by the way, gold knowledge. I just saw that there was a doctor in Canada that figured out a way to turn 1 ventilator into 9 ventilators. And even Elon Musk saw that and tweeted about it. So hopefully that knowledge will be spread very quickly. He said he could do it in about 10 minutes. I mean, I'm like, this is what's happening right now. We're like, everybody that has the knowledge and the ability to do stuff is really stepping up. So that's really cool. Okay, so I'm going to write. So the pentatonic shape, I'm going to write it out. Here, let me write it out. And then you can do a screenshot and then we can play it together. And I'm going to write it with the others so you can kind of see how it all, how you can get them all in one screenshot if you haven't been watching before. Okay. And this is really exciting television here. Now, keep in mind, when you play that bar chord, that E form bar chord at the 10th fret that I just wrote out, you're playing half of the notes in this scale. There are 6 notes in that chord, and there are 12 notes in this scale, and you're playing half of them. And I'm going to circle the lowest root, and this is at the 9th fret, technically. We're technically in 9th position for this, meaning our first finger is going to be playing the 9th fret. Okay, that's what it means when it says, when you're playing position playing, if it says 5th position, that means your first finger goes to the 5th position. If it's 2nd position, your first finger goes to the 2nd position. Everything else is built in front of that. Okay, that's a classical guitar term. You'll see, actually, it'll say 2nd position on it. Okay, so this is the E form here. Okay, you ready to take screenshots? And you may have to reverse the image, because to me this looks backwards, but I'm not sure what it looks like to you. So I think if it were reversed to me, it would look weird. So it's probably correct. Hey, you got here. You got 32 people online right now. That's pretty darn good. Okay. Did everybody get that? Get a little closer. Try not to move it. All right. Shotted. All right. All right, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create, after I do this last one, okay, I'm going to create a neck that has all of them lined up on it so you can see how they all touch each other. In fact, one thing I've always taught with when I was teaching my favorite pentatonic lesson is that, look, if you look at the bottom of this one, see that? 2, 2, 2. It's the same as the top of this one. And if you look at the bottom of this one, it's all straight across, all 6 on the same fret. It's about the same as this. So when you learn this scale, you're learning half of this scale. When you learn this scale, you're learning half of this scale. It's all really, I touched my face. You guys have to take a shot, drink a shot of whiskey. That's our game we're playing. If you haven't been following along for the last few days, if I touch my face, you got to drink something. Okay. I'm just drinking water. I never drink enough water. I got dehydrated the other day and got sick and freaked everybody out. Everybody thought I had the coronavirus, but I just got dehydrated and passed out, or almost passed out. You've got if you screenshot this, you've got the last 4 lessons. So, okay. So let's go over the scale. Second finger, I'm going to point to it instead of isolate it. Okay. Second finger on the 10th fret. All right. And you should all be able to get to this. But the next scale, if you're playing acoustic guitar, you might have trouble getting up here. But for now, you should be able to kind of squeeze your hand in here. And you'll notice the frets are getting smaller, so it's maybe easier for some and harder for others, depending on the size of your fingers. Okay, so T is fine. You can take a shot of T is probably better. The drinking game. Okay, so 10th fret with the second finger. 12th fret. 9th fret. 12th fret. 9th fret, 12th fret, 9th fret, probably should have tuned, 11th fret, it's the only one that we're going to go to the 11th fret on, 10, 12, and then on the high string, the E string, 10, 12. Stop it. Don't tell me my nose is itchy. You're trying to make me itch it, aren't you? Yeah, because you want to take a drink. I'm touching my glasses, see, these are my computer glasses, so I can see everything. If I wear my glasses I really like to wear, which are better looking, everything's blurry. I don't like that. So anyway, I'm stuck with these glasses for now. Okay, let's go backwards. Pinky on the 12th fret of the first string. Second finger on the, on the 10th fret of the first string. Pinky on the 12th fret. 10th fret on the second string. Okay, now here's the one where we're going to the 11th fret. Third finger on the 11th fret. First finger on the 9th fret. On the 4th string, we're on the first wound string, 4th string, if you're playing electric. That's on the 12th fret. First finger on the 9th fret, 12th fret, 9th fret, 12th fret, and 10th fret. Okay? Okay, and the root is here, and there's a D here, and there's a D here as well. So this scale, like I said yesterday, the number one, what I call the number 1 pentatonic, that has 3 roots for the major and 3 roots for the minor. It's the only one of the 5 pentatonics that actually has 3 of each. But if you, on this one, you've actually got 3 of the majors. Only 2 of the minors, but 3 of the majors. The minors would be the Bs. And the same thing's true. Remember the other day I was playing like over the blues. You can play this scale and it gives you kind of a happy major sound, but you can take the same scale. And if you just realize where the minor roots are, then you can line those up and play the same exact scale and get a blues sound. And here's another thing, notice. Because when we talked about I think a couple days ago, we talked about boxes. There's a technique of soloing and playing in boxes, and that basically means finding a shape and then finding another octave and finding another octave. Okay, so the bottom two strings of the A form pentatonic scale are here. The middle two strings of the G form pentatonic we did yesterday are here, and the top two strings create the same box. So we have A, B, D, E, A, B, D, E, A, B, D, E. So you'll see a lot of players go. I mean, I think about a perfect example of that is the solo to Let It Be, right? Let's see. Now keep in mind, there's two solos to Let It Be, one on the album and one on the single, and this is the single version. So if you listen to the album one, it has a different solo on it. This one is he's kind of playing through a Leslie cabinet. See, he's using his boxes. Let's see. What does he do? And that's a hey Mandy, how's it going? That is just box. He's really, if you saw me move, playing down here, playing in the middle, playing on the top, and those are just boxes. That's called box playing. And if you look at the bigger, like this part of the pentatonic number one, we were in D, yesterday's scale. You can find that here and also down here. See, that's the bottom four notes of this chords pentatonic scale. And then here we have the middle four of this pentatonic scale for the A form, and then the G form, we have it on top. So you can play those shapes as well. A lot of guitar players. It really kind of makes it a little easier to start to see patterns, which with guitar is really very pattern based. Piano is, you really need to learn scales and play them and practice them and get them under your hands. Mandy, who just commented, is a great pianist. So let's get back to our scale up here. I'm going to play it again, the new one, okay? And I'm going to hold it up against it if any of you have missed. But here is, if you want to do a screenshot of that, there's the four scales so far. The one on the right is the new one. Yeah, pentatonic scales are single note. Yeah, we're not doing, you can do two notes out of a pentatonic. So it's however you want, but there's, in a pentatonic scale has 5 notes. And so all of these pentatonic scales that we're doing in this key have D, E, F sharp, A, and B. Okay, that's a major pentatonic scale. If we're playing, I'm not going to go there yet. We're not going to go to minor pentatonics yet, but basically they're the same scale. It's just starting on a different note. Okay, so let's go. It's going to be 10, 12. So okay, second finger on the 10th fret, pinky, and like I said, if you're doing the box thing, you probably are going to play your first and second finger on those top 2 notes. But when we're playing them for academic and theoretical purposes, let's try to stick with the 4-finger fingering, because it'll help you build up strength in your pinky, and it'll help you see everything kind of like, okay, this is the first finger notes, these are second finger notes, third finger notes, fourth finger notes, that kind of thing. Okay, so second finger on the 10th fret, pinky on the 12th fret, first finger on the 9th fret, pinky on the 12th fret, first finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string, pinky on the 12th fret, first finger on the 10th fret, 9th fret, first finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. This is the only one we're going to go to the 11th fret, and we're using our 3rd fingers. The 3rd finger is being kind of left out of all this. Okay, and then second finger on the 2nd string at the 10th fret, pinky on the 12th, and then second finger on the 10th, and pinky on the 12th again. Yeah, the pinky. Well, I have a pinky exercise. I'll try to remember to show you at the end. Oh, I can find that actually. I've got playlists up and things like that. I've got a great exercise. You can do it on acoustic or electric. It doesn't really matter. Videos, clicking on videos, exercise. And I'm not talking about the killer finger independence exercises. Don't worry. I'm going with the easy one here. Okay, so this one is two exercises for your left hand, okay? Right here. So this one's very popular. A lot of people, there you go. Check that one out. I have a playlist of exercises. Not a whole, the playlist doesn't have a lot of exercises in it, but those crazy, let's see. Yeah, it's called Exercises for Guitarists. I need to come up with more of those. There are just so many out there, and I don't want to duplicate what somebody else has done. But people turn to my channel, they want to see stuff like that. So, okay, let's do this scale again. Let's try to go a little faster. Okay, ready? Here we go. All right, I'm going to just do fret numbers. 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, 9, 11, 10, 12, 10, 12, 12, 10, 12, 10, 11, 9, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, 10. Oh, I went down to pentatonic number 1. That's another exercise you can do. It's a great little exercise. Just double pick everything. So your left hand doesn't have to go very fast, but it helps you work on the speed of your right hand. You could even triple pick. That way you're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You're alternating down, up, down, and up, down, up for each note. And that also helps you with kind of getting used to your right hand doing alternating picking. Yes. Once you know the 5 shapes, you know both the major and the minor. That's, and there are other pentatonic shapes, other pentatonic scales. Technically, pentatonic just means 5 note scale. So you could technically, if you really get technical with it, you could say that a chromatic scale starting on A and going to C sharp is a pentatonic scale by itself. Technically, that's a pentatonic scale too. It meets the criteria of five notes in the scale. But one of the ones I like on this one, see, remember the notes are in this. The great thing about this one, this is the first one we've done where it actually starts on the root. So again, the notes are D, E, F sharp, A, and B. Okay. I'm boring people. People are leaving. That's a great quote, David. But so we got the analysis of those notes. Okay, we have the root, the second, the third, the fifth, and the sixth. Okay, there's no fourth in there. When I did that thing, when I was going like this, I was bending my third up to the fourth, which is like a right. So I was just bending a half step. Thanks, Captain. Now, here's the thing. Okay, this is a thing that I would talk about later, but I'm going to talk about right now because I think there's some advanced people here that want to catch a cool trick. So what you can do, have I touched my face, by the way? Anybody keeping track? We got a face touch score. I need a little number, a little clicker right here, a little number right there just to keep track of Tom, how many times Tom touches his face. So the scale we learned yesterday, remember we talked about this, where if you play it here, it's a D major pentatonic. But if we put the first finger on D and play the same scale, it becomes D minor. Okay. Well, here's where we have our D major, this pentatonic shape right there. So if you combine these, so when I'm playing, oftentimes I'm kind of using notes in both of those scales. That lick, that note is not in that pentatonic, the major pentatonic, but it's in the minor pentatonic, and I'm hammering on the note that is in the major pentatonic. And then I'm playing the A, and then the B, and then the D. But I could do that too, where I go to the C, which is part of this pentatonic. So you can layer pentatonics on top of each other to create sounds. That's funny. Yeah, Gary, I have to approve this. I don't know why your comment has to be approved. Someone click like each time he touches his face. Does that sound bad? Oh wait, did I just delete? Oh, it was automatically deleted. Shoot. Let me see if I can undelete it. No, I didn't. No, never mind. I'm not. View deleted message. Yes. Approve that. How do I approve that? No, I'm not going to put you in a timeout, Gary. I don't know if you can see that message, but it wasn't bad. 70 times in the past 5 days. I don't doubt that. So at least I'm not picking my nose. That's a good thing. Okay, so and again, another good thing about this scale is it's really right on top of this bar chord that you're going to easily find. See, that's a lot of what when you're soloing, it's like, okay, where's that scale I want to use? And it's right there, right on top of a bar chord that you probably already know. All right. Okay. So we're at 30 minutes. I'm going to go and take questions. I had somebody ask me what my favorite finger picking pattern was. That's a toughie. I love the Travis pattern because you can do so much with it. I think I have a finger pick playlist. Let me see. I have a playlist of just, okay, there's the exercises. I'm gonna send a link to, I'm gonna give you a link to that scales and mode exercises. Oh, you know what? I can put a link up for that so you guys can check that out. I will save this. Oh man, I don't like the way they put all my playlists together. I just want my channel playlists. Drop 2 chords. That's a big playlist, but that's kind of advanced stuff. Let's see. I know I've got finger picking ones. I probably just looked right at it and didn't see it. Strumming grooves. And I'm, right now I'm not doing a lot of videos because I'm doing this. Wow. Where are my, oh, finger picking lessons. Here we go. How many do I have? 9. Okay. So here's I do talk about Travis picking in this. I've got some Travis picking thing. I also did a thing where, again, these are pretty old lessons. Paste. Okay. Yes, that is an 814 CE. Exactly. I did. So there's a playlist for finger picking. I mentioned I have a playlist that says scales and modes. Okay. I should probably just create a list of these so I can copy and paste them easier, faster than this. And then I also have exercises. I mentioned exercises. Okay, here's 8 lessons. I think there's some duplication here. A lot of videos I've redone. I've a lot of lessons I've redone. Like for example, the Kathy, the one I did about the pinky exercise, and I'll show you that pinky exercise right now. We can do that together if you want. It'd be a good thing to do. The pinky strengthening exercise. But Oh, G7th capos, people. They gave me this at the NAMM show, which, man, that wouldn't happen now. Oh my gosh. That's a breeding ground right there. Everybody playing the same instruments. Holy cow. They may never have another NAMM show again. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of things are going to change. But we're on the forefront here. This is a 97. I've had this thing for almost 25 years now. Hard to believe. So the pinky lesson, this is one I learned in when I started studying classical guitar. And I had a real problem with my pinky kind of going like this, flailing, like tucking away when I wasn't using it. Now I can't even do it. But this really, really, really helped. And so what basically it is, it's 8 notes, okay? You ready? Everybody got the guitar out? Put your first finger on the first fret of the first string. And so we're going to assign a fret to each finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, okay? And I'm going to call out some numbers. I'll write it out here in a second. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. And if you'll notice, every other note is being played by the pinky. And what this helps to do is it helps keep the pinky thinking, I got to be ready to play. It won't tuck away. It won't, so I basically, because of that one exercise, my pinky is pretty good about staying out and available. And it also got it stronger, which is another byproduct. Okay. Okay, so what I want you to do, you don't have to play it fast, just slowly. We're going to, go to the second fret. Let's do it again. 1. Now the pinky is going to be on the 5th fret. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. Go up another fret. 1, 4, 2. I'm sorry, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. Up a fret to we're now at the 4th fret. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. And this will really help you from touching your face. 5th fret. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. Yeah, so what you do is you go all the way up as high as you can go. I mean, if you don't have a cutaway, you could probably go to the 11th fret before your pinky hits the body. Okay, that's fine. And then do it on the next string. And go all the way down the strings. It may take you a while, but what else we got to do, right? You can also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. That one's just a warm up to this one. So if you want to. Now I don't have my classical guitar out, but what I had to do, my teacher made me do was brutal. Okay, when I was studying at Butler University in college, so you're also working on your right hand in classical guitar. And that's really where my weakness was. So my teacher wasn't really so much teaching me these scales for my left hand. He was actually teaching me, not scales, exercises. He was teaching me the exercises to work on my right hand. So check this out. Okay. See if you can see this. Okay. I may not have to do it this way. I can do it straight on. So basically basically do 1, 2, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. So you have, for those 8 notes, you have I am, right? So I had to do this like this, all the way to the top. Oh, it was brutal. Okay, then he would have me do M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I. Because what you're developing is all the possible combinations you'll ever need on your right hand. So now I'm plucking middle finger, index finger. I really hated my guitar teacher. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, so the next one, there's more. M, A, M, A, M, A, M, A. Now A, It's like mama, 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 right? Um, oh, is it? Yeah, it's buzzing a little bit, isn't it? No, it needs a fret job, is what it needs. And also, the microphone's hearing it more than I am, so I think the microphone really picks it up. But I could put a little relief on it. Yeah, I can do that kind of work. Okay, so A stands for the ring finger. I think it's from the Spanish angular. Anybody speak Spanish? What the ring finger is called? I think it's angular, something like that. Because P is thumb, pulgar. So when you do on classical guitar, it's P-I-M-A. Pulgar, I think indexo, medio, and angular. I think of the names, and I don't know what the pinky's called. The pinky actually, I think the letter for the P or pinky is P though, if I'm not mistaken. But that's in classical guitar, probably because of Andre Segovia, to be honest. So index. So then it would be. So you're then doing middle. What did I say? Middle index. I'm sorry. No, middle ring. M-A-M. So M-A. And usually what I would do is rest my thumb on the string below. See that? My thumb is resting on the second string. So my fingers are actually hitting my thumb. And those are called through strokes. When you go through the string and you don't rest on another string. A through stroke is when you go like this. A rest stroke is when you go like this and you land on the string. And rest strokes are louder than through strokes, but they're also slower because you have more recovery. You have to come back for more. So, okay, the next one would be A-M, 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 A-M. That's another combination. So these are all, if you want to work on your right hand as well as your left hand, you could do this. I could do a video on this where I get more specific about it. But so AM would be. Can't really see that, but know that I'm being pretty consistent here. Okay, AM, AM. Now, interestingly, the next one is index ring, AI. Okay, these two fingers. I don't know how to hear it. Those two fingers. I'm not insulting anyone anymore. I don't know what this means in some countries. That might mean something really bad in some countries. Okay, so that. So you start with the index and go I-A, 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 I-A. All right, right? Is that 8? Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And interestingly, that one is fairly easy. And I'll tell you why, because those two fingers are pretty close to the same length. So once you get going on IA, a lot of times I find myself using that. If I want to play really fast, I'll use those two fingers. And again, it's a lot of concentration with the two hands doing completely different things. Okay. And then, of course, the obvious next one is going to be A, I, A, I, A, I, A, I. So you start with, I'm touching my face. My itches. Okay. We all have to take a drink if I touch my face. Got to stay hydrated. All right. So we're going to do AI. So that would be starting with the ring finger and going to the index finger. Okay, and that's what they all sound the same. Okay, now the hard one. You thought that was hard. The hard one is we're going to go index, middle, ring, middle, index. So it's going to be I am A M I M A M. Believe it or not. So that without doing anything on my left hand. And this is the source of tremolos. So if you're going to do a tremolo, let's see. A lot of tremolos can be use that fingering. I think I'm doing a different one. See, yeah. But that will allow you to kind of get a faster tremolo doing this pattern. Right. You're spot on, Mike. So, okay, so that one I'm going to play the two together. Okay, so we got the index, middle. So I am A M, I am A M, and then I'm going to do the exercise over here. So, that's hard. It's been a long time. Ah, shoot. Ah, see, I'm not perfect. Ah, man, I'm struggling with that. It's been a long time since I've done that. So, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, if you're going to do a finger picking pattern, like you're going to assign a finger per string, like that. But these exercises will actually help even those kind of patterns. But if you're playing scales, classical guitar pieces, if you're doing, you're going to be playing. You can't just go one finger. You can't just go, one finger per, on the string. You're going to have to alternate to get speed going. It's just like using one finger is like using only downstrokes. Using only downstrokes sounds great on some when you want really heavy playing, but when you want to play fast, you can go twice as fast if you can integrate an upstroke in there. When doing Travis picking or alternating picking, when the left hand holds a chord, which strings need to be hit and which need to be left out? Kind of just depends on what you're trying to say, because the Travis pattern, the whole idea of a Travis pattern is to be a one-man band. Okay, you're a bass player, you're an accompanist, and you're playing a melody. So I think of let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so what I'm doing there with the pattern is I've got the bass players playing here, and then you got the chord. Somebody's playing chord, and then you got someone playing melody up on the top. So it takes a while to get all that down. But my Travis lesson that I do is a series of videos where I think the first thing I do is I get that down. And then once you get some of these things down, it's like, you don't really need to worry about what not to play on the left hand, because you're going to pick and choose what strings you're going to be playing with the right hand. So you can eliminate strings just by not playing them. So. You fit the demographic. So, yeah. My demographic. Yeah, we need to stick together here. Okay. So it's been almost 50 minutes. I'm going to sign out. I'm going to leave the chat up for a minute, so you guys can talk to each other if you want. And then I've got to get back to work on some music. Fortunately, like I've said, I've always worked from home. So, and the dog is quiet, of course. The whole time we've been doing this, the dog hasn't been barking. As soon as I start recording acoustic, I'm sure the dog's going to start barking again. Not my dog, it's someone else's, and they're not letting their dog in the house, and I don't know why. So, you guys have a great day. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, at 11 a.m. my time. That's 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Sorry, Australia. But UK, I've got some UK viewers out there. So you guys will be about 7 o'clock at night. And we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. I'm enjoying this is more for me than for you, to be honest. I'm getting more out of this than you guys are. So it's just good for me to be feeling useful. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.